Hello, this is Mrs. Ross, and this is Lesson 9, Adding, Subtracting, and Multiplying Fractions. This is our practice set for Lesson 9, and it can be found on page 63 of your Saxon Course 2 book. Let's get started. All right, so when we're adding and we have the same denominator, we just add whatever's on top. So 5 plus 1 gives me 6 over 6. And when we reduce this, 6 over 6 equals 1. And that's our answer. Okay? When we subtract with the same denominator, we just subtract the numerator or the top number and leave the bottom number there, just kind of like we did with addition. So 4 minus 3 is 1/5, and that's our answer. Okay? Now when we multiply, it's a little bit different. Because what we're going to do is we're going to multiply across the top, and then we're going to multiply across the bottom, and then we'll reduce. Okay? So what I have here is 3 times 1 times 3 over 5 times 2 times 4. 3 times 1 is 3, times 3 is 9. 5 times 2 is 10. Oops. Times 4 is 40. And that cannot be reduced, so we're just going to circle that, okay? Here we're actually going to we're just going to add across the top, okay? So when we add, nothing happens to the bottom. Very different than multiplication, okay? So whatever we come up with is going to be over 3. So this is 3 plus 3 plus 2 all over 3. 3 plus 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and divide this and see what our answer will be. So 3 goes into 11 3 times, which gives us 3 2/3 as our answer, because we put our remainder over what we're dividing by. Okay? And we'll talk more about that. Let me change colors here because I'm getting tired of red. Okay. Here again, we're multiplying, so we're going to multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom. We get 4 times 2 over 7 times 3, which 4 times 2 is 8. 7 times 3 is 21, and that can't be reduced. 5/8 minus 5/8, so whatever we come up with has to be over 8. 5 minus 5 is 0, so our answer is going to be 0. All right, don't let these percents freak you out, okay? I actually like to do these vertically. You're welcome to do them horizontally, that's fine. But I'm going to bring this down here. So I have 14 2/7, and I'm going to add it. So 2/7 plus 2/7 is 4/7. When we add, we don't change the denominator. And then I have 4 plus 4 is 8. 1 plus 1 is 2. So this is 28 4/7%. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Again, if it works better for you to do it horizontally, that's fine. So I have 1/2 minus 1/2, which gives me 0 over 2. There's nothing there. 7 minus 2 is 5. 8 minus 1 is 7. So this is going to cancel out, and we just get 75%. All right? Now, if you're still frustrated, or if I went too fast, or if you don't fully understand that, what we're talking about, it's okay. It's okay to be a little bit frustrated at this point. We're going to keep on and keep on and keep on. So you'll have several opportunities for it to make sense. But please don't be disappointed or discouraged if you're frustrated, because we can get through this together for sure. Okay, so write the reciprocal. Now this is a fancy math word for flipping the fraction. Flip the fraction. Tell what your answer shows about the product of a number. So we have two things we need to do. We need to flip it, and then we're going to multiply it. Okay? So if I flip 4/5, I get 5/4, right? And then if I multiply it, I get 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 4 is 20. I get 1. So what they want you to see is that when you multiply a fraction by its reciprocal, you get 1. Okay? Let's flip this fraction. So 8 over 7, we're going to flip it. to 7 over 8, and when we multiply it, we get 56 over 56, which is 1. Now you might say 5 is not a fraction, but it really truly is, excuse me, because we can call it 5 over 1 if we need to. So what's the reciprocal, or how do we flip this? It becomes 1 over 5 is our reciprocal, and if I multiply them, I get 5 over 5, which is 1. Okay. So my next challenge here says find each unknown number. So I know that a fraction times its reciprocal is 1, so I know that this has to be the reciprocal, right? And the reciprocal means I flip the fraction. So that means that 8/5 is equal to A. Okay? And then here we have a whole number, but I can write this as 6 over 1m is equal to 1. So I know this is the reciprocal, or the flipped fraction, and that's going to be equal to m. Okay? Gia's ruler is divided into tenths of an inch. What fraction of an inch equals the greatest possible measurement of error? Okay, so it's always half of whatever the ruler's divided into, or half more. We're skipping this. You won't use this. I'm so sorry. But I believe that it's 1/20. Because what we would do is we would multiply 1/10 times 1/2 and get 1/20. Okay. In O, which is our final practice problem, how many 2/3 are in 1? Whenever you see this question, flip your fraction. Okay. 3 2s. And this is how we know, because when we multiply 2/3 by 3 over 2, we get 1. So this is the answer they're looking for. All right, if you have any questions, oh, we have one more. My bad. Here we go. P, if A divided by B, so A over B equals 4, what does B over A equal? Well, if A over B is equal to 4 over 1, B over A is going to be equal to 1 over 4. You see, because that means B is equal to 1 and A is equal to 4, and we flipped it. We did the reciprocal. What property of multiplication is illustrated by this equation? This is actually called the inverse property. I don't know why it's not called the reciprocal property or the flipped fraction property, but we're inverting our numbers. We're turning our numbers on their head. We're turning our fractions on their head. So it's called the inverse property. I'm pretty sure that's the last one that we have. Please let me know if you have any questions. I sure appreciate your attention. Have a great day.